there aren't many accessible freshwater rivers in Trinidad. I was used to the sea, the Gulf of Paria, across which from my home in Trinidad I could see the Paria Mountains of Venezuela, sometimes faint in the distance, or on a particularly fine day, rather clearly. And interestingly, where I live in Prince Edward County, Rochester, New York is similarly visible across the lake. And again in Trinidad, I was used to the usually crashing assertion of the Atlantic Ocean on the east and north coasts of the island. Tropical salt water has a particular weight and bite to it. To my sensibilities, tropical salt water is vibrant, it's breathing, alive. So is lake water, of course, but lake water is less familiar to me. It seems moodier, gloomier, what we say in Trinidad, sometime-ish. It's stonier on its flow. Its flow is not as constantly and actively shifting as the flow of a body of salt water. Not just because of the tides, but because sand is so light, it billows up in clouds. Salt water is heavy because of the salt itself, of course. And that salt has teeth. It eats metal, concrete, lifts off the water and drifts inland to coat countertops, slick floors and skin, and rust roofs and cars. Salt water has an attitude. It is alive and very active, and it occupies space. When it dries, it leaves evidence of itself, like a shed skin. Not so with lake water. I think of lake water as being quietly vengeful, and salt water as being upfront with its meanness. I know what an adversary salt water is, but lake water is unknown to me. It is fresh water that surrounds me in this life I live now. On the surface, bodies of water are immediately attractive. They wrench your attention. But until recently, I've only admired and photographed local lakes and rivers from a distance. Distance is a necessary component of the act of admiring. This distance has always offered the touristic view, the postcard view, idealistic and without fault. This is why recently I have begun to get closer, to move through lake water, albeit on a slow-moving pontoon boat, to look closely at it, to register its particular movements, colors, insects, turtles, gnats, and its particular flora. And what better way to do that than by holding up a camera to your eye? Yes, I don't look at it through the back of the camera. I look at it through the viewfinder. So I'm really looking, searching, seeing. I'm not content to admire lake water anymore. In the photographs I'm making these days, I'm trying to meet the Canadian lake water, this Ontario lake water. I'm trying to meet it face to face. I want a relationship with it now. And yes, in these photographs, I am indeed reckoning, but with this home right here. This here is home too for me.